My name is Natalie, and I had melanoma.
My name is Casey Hawks. I'm 22 years old, and at 19 years old I was diagnosed with stage 4B Hodgkin's lymphoma. I think there was a statistic out a little while ago, maybe it may be current still, I'm not totally positive, that cancer will affect 1 in every 3 people. And whether you're the person going through treatment, whether it's a close family member, a really good friend, coworker, some way, shape, or form, 1 out of those every 3 people will ultimately be affected by cancer.
High school was when it got really bad, because my whole volleyball team would go, and we would go tanning like right after practice before team dinners. Like every single day, for at least 20 minutes.
And summer of 2007 rolled around, I started figuring out where I wanted my life to go. So I decided that I was going to go to Southwestern Oregon Community College in Coos Bay, Oregon, and play baseball for them. I came home for Christmas break and was, doing my normal thing. I was hanging out with my friends and just kind of BSing, getting the lowdown from everybody about how their school year was going thus far. And about halfway through the break, I started getting pretty sick.
But in 2008, I had one on my wrist that I got, I noticed it changed colors like after Hawaii. I have a scar on my wrist from that one because they had to take out extra tissue. But since then, I know that I have to check monthly, and I have a ton of appointments throughout the year.
Kind of just fluish symptoms, I had a high fever, body aches, sort of thing, and it just kind of persisted.
And I noticed one actually on this leg, and I noticed it, and I thought it was looking like the one on my wrist that I had removed 2 years ago. So that's what I went in for. When they called with the biopsy results, I was actually I was going through my crafty phase of the summer, and I was trying to thread a bobbin in a sewing machine, and I couldn't get it for the life of me. And they called, and my mom answered.
When I came back out of the chest x-ray, I had, I guess the x-ray showed, a 10-centimeter tumor growing around my heart.
And then my mom was like, oh, okay, and you can just tell in the tone of the voice when your mom knows something bad. When she was like, Natty, it came back as melanoma.
In addition to the tumor I had growing around my heart, I had granulomas growing in my lungs, in my spleen, and my liver.
And then I just sat there and then just started bawling and sobbing. And then she was just figuring out what to do next, and was like, well, when can we get in to get it taken out? What do we need to do?
So that kind of, after it was an affirmative diagnosis and the words were said to me, you have cancer, I think I laughed at first. Initially I was like, what? No way. And I think that was just me kind of not really knowing how to internalize it.
She hung up the phone. Sorry.
I think everything was just really surreal.
And it just felt so bad.
It's kind of whatever, it's I have cancer, okay.
Mostly just a lot of guilt, I could have done something else. And almost a shame that my body couldn't fight it off too. When you're 21, you're supposed to be the prime of your life and not have anything to worry about with your health, and then to find out that there's something wrong with it that you can't really do to change it.
Especially for a 19-year-old kid, I feel like I'm supposed to be the most healthy, active, fit time of my life. But yeah, I guess in the big picture, I'm pretty lucky as far as my diagnosis. I only had to go through chemotherapy and radiation for just under a year, when people battle cancer for years.
Oh, I had my 3-month checkup on Tuesday. That went well. No cancer.
I guess I was dealt a somewhat misfortunate hand, but at the same time, really fortunate as well, because the experiences and what you take away from that sort of thing is life-changing. You know, it's like, hey, I'm fine. I'm living. You know, this is just a little hiccup. Everything's gonna be okay.